What's cracking, everybody? Drive Time back at it again. Rarely do I talk about something and then have somebody else come along and 100% confirm everything I said in real time, in close proximity to when I said it. But I definitely had that this week. I believe it was Monday I recorded it, so it might have been out maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I was talking about how there's this question about, is marriage good for men? And in that, I said it's absolutely good as long as you do it properly. But when you try to do it outside of the proper way it's done, which is under a Christian framework, it doesn't work. And enter Akash Singh. So if you don't know who Akash is, he is a stand-up comedian somewhere around the B-C tier level. He hangs out with Andrew Schultz a lot. So, he kind of sort of funny. He's not hilarious or anything like that, but that's beside the point. He is very, very, very vocal and outspoken about how the Christian framework doesn't work, it's outdated, it's not realistic, and he is very anti-manosphere. He got a whole lot of smoke for anybody who says anything that relates anywhere near close to what will be considered a traditional marriage format. And then we find out that, to his credit, he absolutely lives out what he says. He is true to his word in that his wife is not traditional at all, in the way that she walks all over him. If you want to know what his wife is like, take Aisha Curry and then just downgrade it a little bit. It's just meaning she ain't as popular, she don't make as much noise, but she very much has the same mindset. And I quote, "My money is my money, his money is our money," end quote. And after she was outed for saying that on a podcast, mind you, because she wasn't trying to hide it, she went on to several other podcasts and doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on it. And now he is basically living his job. He's living his purpose. He's making a lot of people laugh, just not in the way he intended. He don't have to stand up in front of nobody and tell jokes right now, because he is a walking joke, all on his own. And I say all this to say this, just like I said in the other video I did. You can play around with marriage if you want to, and you can play around with trying to come up with your own format and recipe for making it work. Just don't be mad when you fail. I don't feel sorry for this dude. I feel like he got everything that he asked for. He jumps on podcast after podcast after podcast after podcast after podcast, all over the whole campaign of men are this and women are this and women shouldn't be ordered around and men aren't dominant and men don't have to be leaders and women don't have to submit. Like, if you didn't know any better, you'd think he was a male feminist. And now he has exactly everything that he's been talking about for the past year, however long he's been on this topic. Because he wasn't always on this. He had a podcast with Andrew Schultz where they talked about sports. Their podcast is called Flagrant 2. Flagrant coming from sports. It was a sports podcast. I know because I was listening when they started it. Because I used to listen to The Brilliant It Is, which is a podcast that Andrew Schultz does with Charlamagne. So I remember when they started the podcast. I remember when they started to blow up. And I know that it was a sports podcast. But now all of a sudden they tried to pivot and dip their hands in everything. And so he started opening his mouth about marriage stuff. And now, here we are. So I said it before, and I will say it again. Yes, Marriage is great for guys. It's great for men to be in. Absolutely promoted. However, under the proper framework. Or you could convince yourself that it doesn't have to be done like the book that created it. And you can end up being made a fool of, like Akash said. Take your pick.